Hi everyone, it's Paul Miller, the Free Time Free Spill podcast, and today we're gonna have an amazing show. We're gonna have fun and have a good conversation. I got a lot of stuff coming up, and I hope you enjoying these shows. Like it's gonna be amazing talk. I hope you enjoy the guests that I bring on the show and all of that. Today I got Tessa Hopman, and she's a life coach. How you doing?
Good. How are you today?
Doing fine, doing fine. It's so cold, like the temperatures are freezing.
Oh, really? Yeah, we are opposite. So we are in the middle of summer. It's a rainy day today, but it's still like 20 degrees.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, it's degrees, not Fahrenheit. I'm not sure how you guys
Oh, okay.
convert that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 19 degrees tonight, and that's really cold.
Okay. So yeah, I think we're quite on the opposite spectrum. 20 is quite warm.
Oh yeah. So what got you started into life coaching?
My own experience actually, I got to a point in my life where I couldn't get out of bed. It's like, when you have that heavy weight on you and everything just feels like effort. Like I couldn't get out of bed. I was super emotional. My fiance and I always joke, like literally him farting would make me cry. I was like such an emotional wreck. And I just had no enjoyment in life. I knew like God created me for this big purpose. I knew I was meant to be helping people and impacting lives, but my reality didn't reflect that. I mean, I was an office manager and I was managing a restaurant, which like helped people have a great experience, but that was about it. So I was so stuck in this struggle between where my soul knew and I needed to be or where I was meant to be, and then where I currently was in my reality. So yeah, I just had to find the answer for myself. And my fiance pointed me in direction of a life coaching short course. And I was just trying to find the answers to my own questions and realized that it was actually a profession. I could make a career out of helping people find these similar answers and finding fulfillment and purpose. So yeah, that's how the ball got rolling. I knew that this was it, and then enrolled in more coaching training and set up my own business and just jumped headfirst off of the deep end.
How long was the trainings?
So the first one was just a short course with online videos and like exercises to do. That was, I think I spent like 3 or 4 weeks on it. So I definitely wasn't ready to become a coach after that. And I did a full on accelerated coaching course I actually went to Australia, to Sydney to do it, which was 6 full days of 10, 12-hour days of like diving into neuroscience and cognitive behavior and just getting to all the tools that we were using. So that was very intense, but life changing because we got to obviously like try the tools on ourselves and others. So that was a training to become a coach.
And I love how you talk about spiritual health. Like, how important is that, like, in today's society, spiritual health?
Not as important as it should be. We are so focused on the material world, and we get told that hustle and grind and push and strive to become something, but we forget that it's not us like getting us anywhere. All the good gifts we get are from God, and so social media and society are shifting our focus to the wrong things. So it's just unfortunately, especially where I come from, the Netherlands, more people nowadays don't believe as they do believe, and you can see that in where life is going. There's despair, there's frustration. Now with COVID, everybody is panicking, and it doesn't have to be that way. We can have hopeful, peaceful lives if we just focus on God and His purpose in our lives.
And you worked in the ministry before?
No, just voluntary. I've always been in children's ministry, so I
Yeah.
always led children's Sunday services, and I work with little babies. I haven't been a pastor. It's definitely still on my heart to one day become a pastor, but at the moment, my ministry is in my business and showing people how they can grow their businesses by keeping God in the center of their business and actually making God a business strategy. So yeah, workplace ministry at the moment.
God is the mission statement, huh?
Yes, very much.
So, what are some of your inspirations?
What are some of my inspirations? Oh, good question. I always try and find coaches to look up to. So I always follow people that are above me who have reached a certain I'm not going to say a certain income level because that's not really the goal, but they have like a amazing course where they're changing people's lives. They have an overflowing amount of testimonials or just such a social media presence that people are really engaging with them and lives are getting changed. So I always have a few of those on my social media account. And I think it's a good thing. Like sometimes we outgrow our the people we interact with, and we need to find ourselves a new community and kind of up level. So I always try and put people around me that are further ahead than me. Same in faith, in church. We always have good relationships with our pastors because they're just so far ahead and it helps you see what's possible. So I definitely look up to like senior leaders in my church. Obviously, I look up to and I try to live like a life that Jesus lived on the earth, which I'm not very good at, but at least I'm trying. And then I just look up to people who are doing amazing things in the world, whether it is through coaching, setting up a nonprofit. I adore Joyce Meyer's ministries. I think what she does is just beyond any expectation you could have for life to impact so many people. So yeah, that's to name a few things that I look up to.
She has a big outreach because I remember this was like 2012. I seen like one of her books at Walmart.
She has, I believe she has about 80 or 100 books like
Wow.
that she has written over the span of her life. I mean, she's in her late 70s now, so she had some time, but no, she's incredible. Just being on TV, and they're doing outreach in pretty much every country or developing country in the world. Yeah, it's truly inspirational.
She's a great speaker too.
She is, and she's so real. She's not pretending to be anything else. Yeah, so she's a good inspiration to have and something to work towards in the future.
Who are some big influences like when it comes to like the like Christianity, like people that's doing major things in the community?
Well, it's not quite the same for us as for you guys. Obviously, Joyce is very international. But for example, the senior leader in my church, which nobody will know, his name is Martin Steele. And what I find so amazing about him is that he leads a church which is in a city, but he reaches world leaders. So he goes and actually preaches to the UN. So he gets to influence world leadership and the approaches and strategies that they implement. And he gets to be the spiritual voice of the UN. So it's amazing how nobody knows this man, but he's doing incredible things. So that is somebody who I really look up to. He has incredible wisdom. He keeps developing himself. And I think it's such an important thing for people to do, to never settle. Yes, we need to be content where we are right now, but we shouldn't get comfortable and settle right there because God says, we're always growing from glory to glory into the next development or the next stage. So truly people that continue to develop themselves throughout their lives are people that are very inspirational to me.
What kind of virtues you think some of these leaders, like these world leaders and politicians, need as opposed to like Christian public figures? Like some of the stuff they can take from that.
I think if we want to make it in life, funny enough, a lot of people who even don't believe in God will realize that those virtues that are set in the Bible are the keys to a successful life. So being humble, being kind, blessing other people, to be able to be disciplined in certain areas, to have self-discipline. I think that's a very important one, because it shows respect. So you can be in a place of authority, but if you're not giving it respect, such as by showing people you appreciate them, by being punctual, those type of things are not going to reflect very well on you, and you might be in power, but it's almost a forced power. Whereas when you come from a place of humbleness and respect and showing appreciation and giving trust, that is what people give back to you, and you grow into authority much more naturally. So I think those are important virtues to have, no matter if you're a believer or not. And those are virtues to have if you want to be successful in life.
And missionary work, like have you got into missionary work?
I did. I went to Moldova, which is in Europe, and they are some of the poorest people that you'll meet in your life. And I went with a group of people of the current church I was in when I was living in the Netherlands. It was absolutely mind blowing. It brings you back to reality to see what they have. We slept in the people's houses, so we were there for 2 weeks, and we slept with the people who were connected to the church. So we slept in their houses, and you just see like they have nothing. One of the pastors of the church looked wonderful. And he took us to his house, and he had like all these buckets like under his roof everywhere, because the roof just had these massive holes, where him and his like family of 8 were living. So yeah, it brings you back to reality to see how some people live and still stay in faith, and then how blessed we truly are.
That's a big family.
Ah, big families in Eastern Europe, definitely.
Yeah. So how did y'all train before y'all did the missionary work?
Not, no, not necessarily. So we did preparation work with each other. So we just met every 2 weeks, and we just said, okay, well, what message of Christ do we want to share? What message do we want to bring? And what are different aspects that we can do? So we worked a lot with children. So on the one hand, we created a children's program, and then some of the people did some pastoral messages they wanted to share. And then when we went there, the first 3 days we spent in the compound of what are they called? They're called OM, Operation Moldova. So we spent 3 days in their compound, and we learned like traditional games we could play with them, like basic words and conversations, traditions and cultures, so how to greet people, what to do, what not to do, and because we also went in to visit their homes. So it was a little bit of training, but not very, very long or extensive. Anybody can do it. Anybody has something to offer when they do missionary work.
When you said OM, I was thinking about like
Yeah.
meditation.
No. It's just an acronym.
Yeah. So what you got coming up business wise?
We're doing a really cool workshop. I don't know when this is going live. And we're doing a cool workshop on the 7th for us, so the 8th of March for you guys. It's called Shut Up and Shine. So it's all about just silencing that negative mental chatter in your mind, so you can actually shine as the person that you are created to be. Yeah, so that is on the 8th of March. So if it comes out before then, people can go and register.
Okay.
So that is the most recent thing that we're doing currently.
And you have a digital agency. What is called?
Yes, so we offer digital services for people that want to grow their online businesses. So you can think of anything from building websites, creating funnels, doing even the email marketing, so building their email lists, managing their social media, doing VA work such as diaries, planning, customer service. So anything we can take off of people's plates, so they can actually do the growing and the work of their business and be the CEO instead of doing all the grunt work.
Wow, that's cool.
It is very cool. We get to see the like the back behind the scenes of so many businesses, and at the end, all boil down to the same thing. So it's pretty cool to see that.
So business wise, like any plans like for ministry or like to go to school for ministry and do or work
Yes,
in the
yeah,
community?
one day. I really want to go get a pastoral degree. So either a master's in theology or something that is connected to the ministry that I follow. But business wise, we are currently writing a book which is ministry in some sort, because we are writing a book about the practical healing of the practical journey of healing. And it all comes through, so what does the Bible say, how can we heal both like emotionally and also physically, and how do we combine it with neuroscience. So that is where my background as a coach comes in, and then we give people practical tools to do so. So that is the most immediate type of ministry that we will do, because ministry can be lots of different shapes and sizes. It doesn't have to be in church on a Sunday.
I hate to jump to topics, but like we like going back to life coaching. How cool is that? Like life coaching.
How cool is it? It's amazing. I keep saying that often I get more out of it than my client. Not to say that they don't get life-changing transformations, but every time I speak to a person, I'll learn something new. I will see a new perspective that I don't see. And also, I coach people in Australia, New Zealand, and America. So you see a lot of different meaning, social meanings to things, and perspectives. So I grow so much when I coach. And as a bonus, like I get to like change people's lives. I get to help them find their purpose, build their businesses, and realize dreams, set goals. So how can it not be an amazing job to have? Like, it's just truly such a grateful thing to do.
And it shows like you can't like hide it because like you have that happy attitude. Like it shows that you it's rewarding and fulfilling. Like that you love it.
Definitely. And from that, everything stems, right? If you truly enjoy what you get to do every day, if it's not a push, if you don't have to like force yourself to go get into your car, sit in a 2 hour commute and sit in a cubicle you actually hate, that is going to come back in everything you do in life. It's going to come back in your relationships, in your pastime, in your wealth, in your health. So rather find what you truly love and enjoy in life and start doing that, and somehow make a way to create an income around that, than being miserable and waking up in heaven one day and saying, oh, I had all this potential and I wasted it. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
here
very
now.
grateful that I woke up.
I was like, oh, I'm here now, like in heaven, like the conversation you have with yourself when you
Oh,
get to
thank
heaven.
you. Yeah, no, I really enjoy this conversation. It's just showing people it's possible, right? We just get so stuck in like the fake dreams of what all we should have, and that extra car and that extra house or that Louis Vuitton bag. Nothing bad about that. But if you make that your gods, if you make that your main goal, you're gonna get to that goal and you're gonna still feel empty and drained and just not fulfilled at all. And it's just you have wasted so much time and effort to get there, and it means nothing when you get there. So if I can show people somehow that there is a different truth, a truth that brings like healing, brings fulfillment, brings excitement, then then I'm happy just to reach one person today.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And
No, well, and thank you for making this possible, right? You offering this platform to actually have people share their story. And like I mentioned to you earlier, it's a cool concept. People can hear a little bits of everything.
yeah, and you've been training like for triathlon.
We just finished ours actually. Ours was about 3 weeks ago now. So we got to do an ultra triathlon, which is a 1.9 kilometers. Sorry, I don't know miles. 1.9 kilometer swim, 90 kilometer cycle, and a 21 kilometer run. So took me 6.5 hours to finish that. So I was very happy when I saw the finish line. Now we get to have a little time off. So we're back in the gym and just back at some running training, but otherwise nothing on the agenda at the moment.
And like I love podcasting. Have you done a lot of podcasts before? Like
I've
different ones?
recorded lots, and I have created them on the back end. So one of our clients actually has a podcast, and we manage it for her on the back end. I have not done my own podcast yet. Maybe in the future, but it's just you can only take on so many plates to spin, right? And this one just doesn't fit at the moment.
Yeah, so much on piled on your plate.
Yes, and I think we should take on less and not more. So I really try and focus on the things I say yes to. So podcasts are a definite no at the moment.
It is fun though, like just talking, like creating audio and a good a good conversation.
No, it is truly, and I enjoy it so much. And when I organized a summit last year, we did a 25-day live interview series. I loved recording and meeting all these new people. But there's a right place and time for everything. It's just not the right time at the moment.
God's divine timing.
Yes, absolutely. We just need to be patient, and then everything will work out.
That's true. And like, what else you would like to share, like, with the listeners?
Um, what I'd like to share, some motivation and encouragement that, God is so good and He only has good plans for us. So if you're at the moment stuck in fear or overwhelm or just procrastinating what you actually, what God put on your heart to do, if you're struggling being obedient, take one little step, because our goals sometimes look so scary and so overwhelming, especially if God puts something on our hearts, right? It's just such a massive thing. But if we just break it down, so like if we break down the goal into the first little three steps that you can do to get closer. I always say if you run a marathon, that's an overwhelming goal, but you can say, okay, well, today I'm going to buy sneakers or buy running shoes, and then maybe tomorrow I'm gonna walk 2 kilometers, and then next week I can run a kilometer. So then it all of a sudden becomes very doable. So just take action. Life always rewards action. And just the one quote that I love that I want to leave everyone with today is that the difference between our dreams and our reality is called action. And as long as you're not taking action, your dreams are just going to gather dust and dissipate, and you're never going to reach them.
Dreams to reality.
Yep. The difference between dreams and reality is called action.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. So, any links you want to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, so I don't know if you share show notes where people can find the
I do.
links, but yeah, okay. So they can find me on my handle on social media, which is the Vine Dresser NZ, and they can go to find more information on thevinedresser.com. So those are the two links. On the social media, you can find the link to sign up for the workshop. So the Vine Dresser NZ on Facebook and Instagram, and then thevinedresser.com if you want to know a little bit more about me, what I do, and how you can work with me.
That's the only thing I forgot to mention. The vine dresser. I check out the website today, and
Yeah.
like, what's the meaning behind the vine dresser?
So it's biblical. I wanted to find a title for my company. And I just prayed before my Bible study the one morning. I was like, God, I don't know what you want me to call this business. And I opened up my Bible, and here's the story about Jesus being the vine dresser. So how he, how like we are the, or he is the vine and we are the fruit. So it is just about pruning away any weeds that are overgrowing, tending to the vine, making sure that the soil is fertile, that it gets the right amount of moisture. And that's all what coaching is about, just helping people overcome everything that's choking them and holding them back, and just empowering them with all the right soil and fertilizer and tools so they can grow into whoever and whatever they are created to be.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. I thank you, Tessa, and the listeners for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thanks everybody for hanging in there and listening to us.
Yeah, and new episodes come on every Friday, 1 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I got so many coming up, and like, I'm gonna try to get this one as soon as possible out. But I'll send you the recordings. Thank you, Tessa.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome.